Welcome everyone to the season finale here at Phoenix. The 2023 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series Championship is on the line here tonight on NASCAR Heat 5, live here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. The race leader, Stage 1 winner, Aaron Garcia, out front right now here for the beginning of Stage 2. He is the favorite to win the championship this year. 15 wins this season coming into tonight's championship race at Phoenix. Landon Jenkins in the 77, the second highest playoff point total of the season. One win this season, that came at Sonoma. Scored in third right now, one of your final four championship contenders. The 78 machine of Connor Brown running right now in second place, having a strong run here early in the going, here in the beginning of Stage 2. He finished second in Stage 1, and he's looking, he actually won Stage 1 earlier tonight of this event. Aaron Garcia outside of the top three, we're getting notes here. And Connor, one of those final four championship contenders. And last but not least, Aiden Cody, driver of the number 53 Chevy Camaro, comes into this race the underdog, arguably, to go on out there and win the race. He would be the youngest NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion in the series history if he is able to pull it off. Right now he is outside of the top five and looking to drive his way in. And now actually to the inside of Connor Bullhue in the number 19 Toyota for that position. I am NOSSCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, along with No Wind Race reporter here tonight. Again, it's a reflex to kind of throw it over to Alex Tesdall. We're not going to be doing that here for tonight's championship race. I'm riding solo, folks. Kick back, relax, grab a cold can of soda, and enjoy the show. Tonight we find out who your 2023 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion really is on NASCAR Heat 5. 16 cars started this race, and 14 of them left on the racetrack, all chasing Aaron Garcia. There you see him. He's got the 78 of Connor Brown right behind him at second. It was three wide for a moment for third, fourth, and fifth back here. Landon Jenkins, one of the final four contenders, able to drive his way through it and go to third place. The top three on the track are final four contenders. Then you have the pink and black car, Aiden Cody in the 53. He is running in fifth right now. He is your other final four contender. Connor Bullhue in the 19 car, 2 wins for him this season in his part-time run. Started the season late. Kind of been able to spoil the party for the playoff drivers at times here in the postseason in these last 10 races. He's won 2 of them, and he's looking to maybe do it again, this time at Phoenix. Running in 6th there, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. He missed the final 4 by 2 points to the 78 of Connor Brown. So for the first time in 3 years, Josh Colm-Diaz not a part of the championship 4 here at Phoenix. Good battles behind the top 5 here. It's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18. He's actually stuck 2 laps down after slight contact with Josh Colm-Diaz in Stage 1, sending the 18 car down pit road and got a speeding penalty coming into pit road way too fast. The game slowed his car down and he took tires and fuel, so he didn't need to pit at all in that stage, and a lot of them were having to save their tires and fuel throughout this stage. So it threw that gamble away for him, but the problem for him was a lot of drivers did make it to the end of Stage 1 without having to pit, and therefore Jeffrey was stuck 2 laps down at the end of Stage 1, still is, and currently scored in the 10th position. There's a couple of cars that are 2 or more laps down. Kenny Adair in the 36, former NOSSCAR Truck Series champion back in 2018. He is one of them. Timmy Brown in the 13 is another. Rush Downing in the 7 car is another. And a lead change here. Connor Brown in the 78 car takes it away from Aaron Garcia. Tire wear is going to be a big story in this race, and I gotta wonder, since we didn't catch it on camera, I gotta wonder how long Aaron Garcia waited until he lifted and let the 78 of Connor Brown have it. Gotta wonder if he's maybe saving his stuff a little bit, or if Connor Brown truly has that raw speed right now to go on up there and drive around Aaron Garcia. Remember, 15 wins for Aaron this season. It's been tough to go on up there in one of these races and drive right around him for the lead, and Connor Brown able to do it at arguably the most important time when you're a Final Four contender in the championship race at Phoenix. Bit of a shake-up for the running order back here. Aiden Cody has been able to work his way around all three of these cars somehow. He's been able to drive up into third. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car running in fourth. Landon Jenkins running in fifth. The Final Four contenders running 1, 2, 3, and 5. There was contact there a moment ago between the 9 and the 77. Landon Jenkins, Final Four contender, had to grab a handful of steering wheel there. Great save by him, but now he's in danger to lose fifth to Connor Bullhue in the 19. Some of these drivers that either missed the playoffs or just narrowly missed the Final Four, making it very interesting here for these Final Four championship contenders. Getting word now, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car might have actually had a connection issue. His car disappeared on our screens there just a moment ago. We'll be able to confirm here with you in a couple of laps, but if that's the case, then the driver coming into this race 5th in the point standings and who just barely missed the Final Four could be done for the day. And it's true, we're getting confirmation. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car is off the track and out of this race. In the world of sim racing, we call that an engine failure, and that's a heartbreaker anytime you have one of those, but especially when you're up there running very competitive. He had just driven up into the top 5. One of his better racetracks as well. Now lead change again. Aaron Garcia in the 24 takes it back from Connor Brown in the 78. Aiden Cody in the 53, still about the same distance behind both of these drivers. That is your top 3, and now green flag pit stop here. Connor Brown in the 78, he's going to surrender second place. Aiden Cody's going to take that over. Connor Bullhue, Landon Jenkins, they stay out on the track that time by. They take over third and fourth. Interesting strategy here for Connor. We know that, well, yeah, we pretty much know everybody's going to need to make a pit stop here in stage 2 at some point or another if we go green the rest of the way. And Connor coming a lot earlier than the drivers up there that he was battling with for the race lead. Here's Alex Tesdall as well in the 17 car. He pit the same lap by. Some front-end damage to his machine. Timmy Brown in the 13 off the racetrack and done for the day, it appears. Colby Luca in the 11 car also done for the day off the racetrack after a crash in stage 1. Some attrition early here in the season finale at Phoenix. Thankfully for the Final Four, none of them have been involved. Aaron Garcia, Aiden Cody, Landon Jenkins, Ethan Hoekstra all on pit road this time by. 3 of the 4 Final Four contenders on pit road. And now all 4 of the Final Four contenders have been to pit road for their green flag scheduled pit stop in stage 2. No major problems for any of them so far in this race, except for when Aiden Cody in the 53 blew a tire on the final lap in stage 1. Went from about 3rd or 4th back to 9th. That's where he finished. Thankfully for him, it does not matter at all about the stage points for the Final Four contenders. Doesn't matter at all where they finish in stage 1 and 2. The highest finishing Final Four contender at the end of the race is crowned your 2023 champion. The 8th running of this 8th season here for the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series in its 6-year history. Started back on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition. It's worked its way through the PlayStation 4 NASCAR console games such as NASCAR Heat 3, Heat 4, and here we are in NASCAR Heat 5. Been here for a couple of seasons now. Going to crown another champion here on the Heat 5 platform. Watching a great battle for the lead here between the 78 and the 24. Well, it's going to be the battle for the lead. At the moment, it's Connor Bullhue in the 19 car leading this race, but it's because he is yet to come to pit road for his scheduled green flag pit stop. We're nearing the halfway mark of the stage, and we think that everybody that's already pit is safe to make it to the end of the stage on fuel and tires. So this move by Connor is simply some insurance to make sure that his tires are not going to shred, because tire wear has been a major issue here so far in this race. Needed to get some camera time as well, lead some laps. He's got nothing to lose, did not make the playoffs, came into the season late. Has won two races, and he's been on fire lately. Now surrenders the race lead and comes to pit road. This gives the race lead for the time being Destin Franklin in the 3. Good to see him have a strong run here to finish the season off. He made it all the way to the round of 8. It's the best season he's had in his NASCAR Platinum Cup Series career. He found victory lane once this season. It was his first career NASCAR Platinum Cup Series win. Fell short in the round of 8 to making it here for the final 4. But he made it a long way. Outlasted a lot of very talented sim racers here on the NASCAR Heat Games, and looks to finish strong. He's guaranteed a top 8 in the final standings, and if he has a good result here today at Phoenix, he's likely to finish in 6th. And now with Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car out of this race early, he might even have a chance to finish in 5th in the final standings if all goes well for him. He still leads. He's yet to come to pit road. But when he does, the battle for the lead is this one right here. Connor Brown, Aiden Cody, and Aaron Garcia, 78, 53, and 24. They go into turn 3 this time by. There was nearly contact there between the 78 and 24. Up the hill a little bit went the 24 to avoid the contact. I think he kind of saw it coming. Three of the 4 final 4 contenders battling for the lead. Landon Jenkins is the 4th championship contender. He drives the 77, and I believe once this all cycles through, he's going to be scored in the 5th position, but we will confirm that once these last few pit stops have taken place. Destin Franklin in the 3 car is still your race leader, and it looks to be Aaron Garcia in the 24 that will take the lead from him once he makes his scheduled green flag pit stop. There's a good look at Landon Jenkins. Love when he brings this one to the racetrack. It's the paint job he won Sonoma with. He calls it the Tyler McMurder tribute car. Looks a lot like my mini stock that I race at Peterborough Speedway. It looks really good, actually. There's not too many options for the paint booth here on these NASCAR Heat Games, and it's one thing that the NASCAR Heat community is commonly and constantly talked to us, or at least commented and criticized 704 Games about, and hoped that they would one day improve. But Landon Jenkins has done a terrific job designing that car, and I'm a bit of a sucker for a lime green and blue car, and that one looks very nice here in the sunshine at Phoenix International Raceway. He is one of the final 4 contenders, the team owner of Bold Pluto Racing. 3 of the 4 final 4 contenders driving for Bold Pluto Racing. So Landon Jenkins was a very happy man coming into the championship week. Three wins for Aiden Cody this season, including one at Texas, and that performance there was what was able to lock him into the final 4 here today at Phoenix. Pardon me. He had a decent run at Kansas to start the round of 8, but secure his final 4 spot with a win at Texas, and he didn't have to worry about the madness at Martinsville Speedway. Always a wild round of 8 cutoff race. We should mention Destin Franklin in the 3 has surrendered the race lead and brought that number 3 Chevy Camaro to pit road. Rockstar Racing car. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. still trapped 2 laps down. The good news for him is he's the first car amongst everybody that is 2 laps down. The bad news for him is excuse me, now that I'm actually looking at the running order here, I think that he's actually the second car 2 laps down. Alex Tesdall in the 17, he was only 1 lap down, appears to now be 2 laps down to your race leader, about 5 seconds ahead of the 18 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. They're battling to be the first car 1 lap down or more, trying to get that free pass and get closer towards being back on the lead lap for the beginning of the final stage. We're still working stage 2, so they have some time to try to pull that off. There's Alex Tesdall there, former NASCAR Novice Cup Series champion, looking to be the first car 2 laps down, get one of them back, be the only car 1 lap down, and therefore begging for just one more caution to get it back on the lead lap. Therefore, the only car 1 lap down, he would get it by default. They're all chasing Aaron Garcia in the 24. Top 3 spots held down by the final 4 contenders. They haven't left each other. They've all been separated by about a car length at the most for the last, I want to say, about 10 laps, pretty much ever since the green flag cycle of pit stops ended. If you remember, the 78 of Connor Brown came to pit road about 1 lap sooner than the 53 and the 24. It's not a huge disadvantage, but it's slight enough, and it might start kind of showing the longer that this run goes. He's lost the lead to the 24, and he's under fire for second from the 53. If I'm not mistaken, Connor Bullhue in the 19 scored in 4th, and the amazing part about that for him, the good news for him, is that he stayed out a number of laps longer than the rest of the field, with the exception of Dustin Franklin in the 3. Connor Bullhue was actually about 8 to 9 or 10 laps longer of a run for his tires there in that first stint. He's got much fresher tires than the top 3 in front of him, but the problem for him is the gap is pretty large. If they hit traffic, or if they start battling again like they were just a little bit ago, he might be able to close it in enough and start battling for this stage 2 win. Question is, what does he do when he gets there? He knows what's on the line for these drivers that are up there battling for the lead right now. Running in the 5th position rather, Ethan Hoekstra in the 51, having a strong run here at Phoenix, and in the 6th position, your 4th and final 4 contender, and that is the driver, the 77, Landon Jenkins. Not having the stage 2 that he was hoping for, but he's still going to be within striking distance of the others that he's battling with for this championship at the beginning of the final stage. If everyone finished the way that they are right now, and assuming nobody lost any positions in the exchange of pit stops at the conclusion of stage 2, he would restart on the outside of row 3 and 6. And you know what? A lot of drivers would take that any day. Being a Final 4 driver, restarting in 6th at Phoenix in the final stage. Behind Landon Jenkins, running in 7th, is Dustin Franklin in the 3. Much fresher tires than the rest of the field, stayed out longer than anyone. Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Kenny Adair rounding out the rest of your top 10. As of now, only the top 7 cars on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down, Alex Tesdall running in 8th. 2 laps down to your race leader. Seems like every time we have a green flag cycle of pit stops, we lose a number of cars off the lead lap. Seems like the speed that some of these expert drivers here in the Platinum Cup Series are able to carry in and off pit road seems to be a big difference maker in these long runs in these NASCAR Platinum Cup Series races. Aaron Garcia still leads. Connor Brown, Aiden Cody, 2nd and 3rd. That's the battle on your screen. Connor Bullhue closing in on all 3 of them, running in 4th in that number 19 Toyota. Stayed out a long time in comparison to your race leaders. And if I'm not mistaken, the leader only has 5 laps to go now here in stage number 2. Stage points do not matter for your final 4 contenders. It is simply your best finishing, highest finishing final 4 championship contender at the end of the race who is crowned your 2023 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion. The drivers not a part of the Final Four, whether they made the playoffs or not, they will accumulate stage points throughout these first two stages. Stage 1 already in the history books, Connor Brown in the 78 winning that one, and Stage 2 about 4 laps away from being a part of Platinum Cup Series history. It's our 8th season, folks. Start back on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition. Holding strong here on NASCAR Heat 5 until these servers are shut down, and then we will find a new home. Aaron Garcia closing in on another stage win. It would be his 53rd career NASCAR Platinum Cup Series stage win, and what it also would be is his 98th playoff point of the season. The record for the most playoff points in a single season is 99, set by Matt Smith a couple of years ago, and it looks like Aaron Garcia has a chance to break that, because a win would give him 3 more, and it looks like a win is going to be necessary, as it usually is, for the driver to win the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series championship. Never has a NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Final Four driver won the championship without having to win the championship race. The competition has been that stiff and that significant every time. And there's the end of Stage 2. The green and white checkered flags are in the air. Aaron Garcia picks up his 53rd career stage win in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. 98th playoff point of the season. We do count the playoff points all the way down and even in the championship race. And he's 1 point back from a playoff point back from breaking the all-time record for the most in a single season. He would tie it if he finishes second or third. He would break it and sit at 101. If he were to win this race, he would get 3 more. Folks, this is a big moment for all of these drivers. Alex Tesdall gets the free pass. He'll be in 8th place, the only car 1 lap down, 9th on back, 2 laps down or more. We only have 11 cars left on the track. The final 4 contenders are going to all restart in the top 5. Landon Jenkins was able to rebound and finish 5th in Stage 2 there. So the final 4 contenders finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th in Stage 2. They're all going to have great track position for the beginning of this final stage. They're all going to have a great chance to win this race. It is time to make history. The moment of truth. The biggest restart of their life. The green flag is in the air. It's a big sim racing championship on the line. We are green for the final stage at Phoenix. Four or 5 different lines used. Aaron Garcia escapes with the race lead after the first couple of laps. And we have 60 laps to go till we crown a champion. If we stay green the whole way, these drivers will all need to make 1 pit stop at some point during this race, but they're going to need to stretch their tires and fuel pretty far in order to actually stick to a 1-stop strategy. Aaron Garcia, Connor Brown, Aiden Cody, 1, 2, 3, Landon Jenkins in 4th. All 4 of the championship contenders in the top 4 spots, and then it's Connor Bullhue, Ethan Hoekstra, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Jeffrey 9th, 2 laps down. Up there in the 7th car in line, showing the great speed he has here if he can somehow get a few cautions and get back in this thing. Justin Franklin running in 7th, the 8th car in line. So all 7 of the lead lap cars all still single file after about 5 laps since the restart, since the beginning of the final stage. Taking a look to the inside is Connor Brown in the 78. The more that they race each other here, the more the tires are going to wear. Tire wear has been a major factor and a bit of a problem even for some of these Final Four contenders. In fact, the entire field. So they're going to need to be a little bit careful here in the final stage. Maybe have to use some good decision making on when to race hard and when not to race hard. Connor Brown in the 78 choosing to race hard. He takes a look to the inside again for the race lead on Aaron Garcia. The top 3 beginning to drive away from the rest of the field just a little bit. It's about a 3 or 4 car length gap in between 3rd and 4th, but it's mostly because they're battling pretty hard. 2 and 3 wide for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Landon Jenkins, Connor Bolhue, and Ethan Hoekstra. 16 cars started this race, 11 of them left on the racetrack, 7 of them on the lead lap, 4 of them with a shot to make history and win the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series Championship. Final 4 contenders running 1, 2, 3, and 5. And Aaron Garcia bounced off the wall coming out of turn 4 that last time by, pushing hard. And he's going to lose the lead to Connor Brown. Ethan Hoekstra, excuse me, it's actually Aiden Cody rather, taking over 2nd. And for the first time since stage 1, Connor Brown is back out front. He won stage 1, establishing that he was going to be a true threat for the championship here tonight. Puts the number 78 Chevy Camaro back out front for Bull Pluto Racing with his teammate and championship rival Aiden Cody in the 53 behind him in 2nd. Aaron Garcia in 3rd. 15 wins for him this season. He knew the pressure was kind of on him and that this was kind of his race to lose. Now finds himself with 2 of his championship rivals just in front of him. Connor Bolhue right there in 4th, now taking a look to the inside of Aaron Garcia. That's a battle for 3rd and 4th. Landon Jenkins, Ethan Hoekstra right there behind them with a front row seat for this championship fight, along with Jeffrey Robinson Jr., who scored in 9th, stuck 2 laps down, but has had great pace all race long. Dropped 2 laps down back in stage 1 after minor contact between he and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. Sent the 18 down pit road, gave him a speeding penalty and a lengthy pit stop. New race leader. For the first time all race long, Aiden Cody is going to take the race lead in the number 53 Chevy Camaro, one of the Bull Pluto Racing drivers, and he's looking to become the youngest NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion in history. He's got 3 wins this season, and he's going to need to make it 4 if he's going to get this done. 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Landon Jenkins getting aggressive, has been stuck in 5th for about the last 8 or 9 laps. Now he goes in the middle to see if he could make something work. Couldn't quite do it. He lifts and gets back in line, and now tries the bottom yet again. 3 wide this time going into turn 1. He lifts a little bit, gets back in line, could not make the pass, and now the 78 of Connor Brown finds the outside wall coming out of turn 2. He loses 3rd to Connor Bolhue. He loses 4th to his team owner, Landon Jenkins. He has a teammate, Ethan Hoekstra rather, in the 51 car just behind him, running in 6th, so that makes things a little bit easier. Ethan Hoekstra was eliminated in the round of 16, and you would think that since he is not a part of the Final 4, he might just lift and let the 78 and 77 battle for this. As I was saying that, it looked like he was taking a look, but then he showed signs of forgiveness, and now we have a caution on the racetrack. I didn't see what for. It didn't involve any of the top 6 or 7 cars. There's heavy damage to the 17. And there is heavy damage also, I believe, to one other car we were looking at just a moment ago. The 7 car brushed Downing heavy damage. So a 2-car crash puts us under the caution for The second time in this race for an on-track incident, but the first time in the final stage. This shakes things up a little bit. We're still too far out. These guys are going to need to make another pit stop under green, even if they make one here, but I guarantee you everybody is pitting here. The 17 car will get the free pass even though he was involved in the crash. NASCAR Heat 5 does not score that or officiate that, so he is back on the lead lap. 8 cars scored on the lead lap. Green flag is in the air. .44 laps to go at the time of the restart. Coming up on 43 as they approach the start-finish line. Aiden Cody, Aaron Garcia, Landon Jenkins, Connor Bolhue, Connor Brown. Your top 5, Ethan Hoekstra, Dustin Franklin. 6th and 7th, Alex Tesdall. Running in 8th, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. 9th, and Kenny Adair in the 36 rounds out the top 10. Contact deep in the field. The 17 and the 36 car both just went up into the outside wall together. We stay green. Man, the action never ends here at Phoenix International Raceway. A great track to bring the championship race to. So many different lines you can use. So easy to get a good run on the car in front of you. We've seen some aggressive runs and moves and some aggressive blocks. But for the most part, we've been pretty green and pretty clean here in the championship race. We've seen some wild championship races in the past, and believe me, this one's been wild, but in all the right ways. Great action, great battles for position throughout the field, but very clean and respectful ones as well. Top 4 spots held down by the final 4 contenders. Connor Bolhue in 5th and Ethan Hoekstra in 6th. They're the ones with the front row seat for the championship battle. Dustin Franklin scored in 8th, not too far behind them. Or excuse me, in 7th rather, Dustin Franklin. Still Aiden Cody out front, and I'm impressed with the short run speed here. He's been able to keep the 24 behind him, which has been a really tough task all race long. And we're getting a few reports here from some crew chiefs here, some crew chief style notes, and it sounds like that the fuel is going to be very, very close for all of these drivers. In fact, it sounds like a lot of them are actually going to be short to making it the rest of the way. But it's the tires that are definitely going to be short. They're going to need to pit 4 tires. One of the tires is going to blow before your fuel tank is completely bone dry. So what I'm saying is if they're about 2 or 3 laps short on fuel, then they're probably about 8 or 9 laps short on tires. Just kind of the way that the game goes here in NASCAR Heat 5. Once one of your right side tires, usually your right rear if you're too loose and right front if you're too tight, one of them will go to 0% on the screen, and when it does, that's when it blows. You'll have 7 seconds of damage to repair on your pit stop, as well as a car that'll only move about 70 miles an hour at most without trying to spin itself out while you're trying to make it to pit road. So I wonder what some of these drivers are going to do. We restarted with 44 laps to go. I wonder if they're going to take 4 tires, split this run in half, and hope it goes green the whole way. Or I wonder if some of them are going to really try to save their tires, run as far as they can, and maybe take only 2 right sides and a half can or a can of fuel with only a handful of laps to go. There might be some split strategies if this race unfolds green from here, but if a caution comes out between now and the checkered flag, everyone will come to pit road and all strategies will be out the window. To the lead goes the 24 of Aaron Garcia. He's trying to make this work on the outside line. Aiden Cody being very respectful, giving him a lot of space up there. We haven't seen too many passes on the outside line here tonight, but the only one that's been able to consistently do it is Aaron Garcia in the 24. I was talking about the 53 of Aiden Cody, giving him a lot of space there, but that last time by, he didn't give him very much at all. In fact, a little bit of contact was made, and now the 24 is forced to regroup and tuck in behind the driver of the 53, maybe cool down his tires just a little bit. As these tires heat up, and as these tires wear out, these cars will get a little bit looser, a little bit more slidey, especially on corner exit. A big block made there by the driver of the 53. Looked like the 24 had a good run going into turns 3 and 4, and the door was slammed shut there by the youngster in the 53. Aiden Cody looking to become the youngest NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion in history. Aaron Garcia battled hard with Matt Smith for this championship last year. The roles were maybe reversed. At this juncture last year, Aaron Garcia was the number 2 driver of the season to Matt Smith, and he was looking to be making an upset performance at the event last year at Phoenix. Wasn't able to do it, and now this year comes in with 15 wins, arguably the strong favorite to win the championship here in 2023. Got about 32 laps to go here to figure it all out. He's got to run now to the inside of the 53. There's no denying that now. They are door handle to door handle. Slight contact might have been made there. And back to the lead goes the driver of the 24. There's a look at Landon Jenkins, one of the final 4 contenders as well. Running in 6th, and I'm not sure if he's struggling with the speed or the handling, or if he's simply just trying to save his tires and try a little bit of a different strategy than the drivers in front of him. Ethan Hoekstra, one of his drivers at Bold Pluto Racing, just got up and into the outside wall a little bit, and now he surrenders 5th to the driver of the 77. This moves Landon one step closer to the lead. It's going to take a win, folks. You're going to need to win this race to win the championship. All 4 of the final 4 contenders are just too darn good. Back to the inside goes the 53 of Aiden Cody, looking to, again, be the race leader. Connor Brown with a front row seat, watching his teammate in the 53 try to work his magic and take the lead away from the strongest driver of the season. The top 4 have separated themselves from the rest of the field. We had 8 drivers on the lead lap when they restarted with 44 laps to go, and it still holds that way, but it looks like the win is going to come down to the top 4 unless somebody pulls off a wild pit strategy running 5th on back. There's about 25 laps to go here in this race. You can make it from here if you decide to pit, and a couple of drivers just did make that decision. Aaron Garcia in the 24, Connor Bullhue in the 19, 2 of the top 4 on the racetrack coming to pit road here for service, and they're hoping that they can leapfrog the drivers of the cars 78 and 53, take over the race lead, and hope that their 1 or 2 lap pressure tire advantage is not great enough to overcome them on the long run here, the second stint. So this leaves the driver of the 53 as your race leader. That is Aiden Cody. Connor Brown in the 78 scored in 2nd. Landon Jenkins scored in 3rd. Rush Downing in the 7 car just got body slammed by Landon Jenkins up the racetrack. Their teammates, Rush Downing drives for the team owned by Landon Jenkins. Rush made the playoffs, was eliminated in the round of 16. He's had a bit of a rough go in this race, currently running 11th. And now the pit stops are complete here for the 24 and the 19. Again, it'll be, there was contact made there with the 36 and the 24. All is okay, it appears. It's going to be interesting to see where it all cycles out, though, when it comes to the 53 and the 78. Where are they going to be in relation here to the 24 and the 19? They are the ones that were up there in the top 4 group with the 53 and 78. but they short pit and took those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles about 3 or 4 laps sooner now than the 53 and 78. Two completely different strategies looking like they are unfolding. Aiden Cody and Connor Brown still yet to make their scheduled pit stops. Landon Jenkins running in 3rd because of all of this. If it stays green, I think it really benefits anyone who's already made their pit stop. They've got 4 fresh tires. They're making up ground on anyone who has not come to pit road. But if a caution comes out at any point in time, it's going to trap the 24 and others 1 lap down or more, and it's going to greatly benefit Aiden Cody, Connor Brown, Landon Jenkins. It'll basically come down to these 3 for the championship, unless it's the 24 car in the free pass spot. This is all hypothetical. This is one scenario that could unfold in their favor, because they are still on the racetrack, folks. Top 3 have not made their scheduled pit stop. Top 4 to be exact, but the top 3 on the track right now are Final 4 contenders. And they ran a really low line that time by in turns 3 and 4, or excuse me, 1 and 2, which is where the pit road entrance is. So I was wondering if they were coming, but they're not. Connor Brown is actually going to go to the inside of Aiden Cody and take the race lead over. There could be some team communication going on here. And maybe Aiden Cody's coming to pit road pretty soon and wanted less cars, less traffic behind him. I'm not too sure. Ethan Hoekstra, the only car that was in that battle that's not competing for the championship, he just came to pit road, surrendering 4th place. Connor Brown in the 78, 2 wins this season. Aiden Cody in the 53, 3 wins this season. Landon Jenkins in the 77, 1 win this season, but had more playoff points than the 53 and 78. All of them had a strong case as to why they should be one of the favorites, one of the ones talked about to win this championship, and they've shown it all race long and all throughout the playoffs. All of them have had to battle back from at least one thing at some point or another in one of these playoff rounds to get to this stage, to get to this place. Now they have a chance to write their name in NASCAR history. Can't forget that Landon Jenkins has kind of already done that. He won the 2022 NASCAR World Championship on one of the Formula One games with us here on the PlayStation console. 12 wins in that season. And if memory serves me correctly, it was on F1 2020. We selected a game that would be a little bit more affordable for the drivers to participate. And he's looking to do it again here. He's looking for 2nd on his teammate, Aiden Cody in the 53. Sometimes some of these drivers here in this group are running a very low line in 1 and 2, and I keep thinking that they're coming to pit road this time, but I think that that's a product of them saving their tires and kind of just taking it easy, mostly on corner entry, trying not to burn up their tires. They could be trying to do a 2-tire pit stop strategy rather than splitting this stint in half and taking 4. I don't know exactly where these 2 are running. Actually, I just have an update now. Aaron Garcia runs in the 6th position. Connor Bullhue runs in 7th. They are trying to make up time. So that way, if they do end up having to pit and if they do take 2 tires, they'll still be in front of them anyways. It's going to be interesting to see where it all shuffles out. Ethan Hoekstra runs in 8th. But when this all cycles out, I'm pretty sure he's going to be running in 5th. And you can see the distance in between the 24 and 19. All the way back to the 51. He's barely popping in your frame before they pan the camera. And that's a product of Ethan Hoekstra staying out a number of extra laps. So the gap is going to be, in theory, larger for the 78 and the 77 and 53 if they choose to take 4 tires on their pit stop. So you got to wonder, you got to believe even, that they're going to try to take 2 only. Because this strategy, this move, if they take 4, I think that's the end of the championship run for them. here comes Aaron Garcia, and that's a huge demonstration right there on the speed difference between 4 fresh tires and someone who's not saving at all, and 4 old tires on the leaders that are saving a lot and perhaps trying to make this a 2-tire pit stop, or maybe not pit at all. Getting word there's only 12 laps to go, maybe about 10 laps to go actually for your leaders. My spotter here that's kind of giving me the laps to go information is 2 laps down, so I'm not sure if what his screen is telling me is how many laps there are to go, or if I need to take 2 away from what his screen is telling me. So there's either 9 laps to go when they hit the line this time by, or there's 11 laps to go. My point with all of this is there's not many laps to go, and they've made it a whole lot further than I thought that they would without having to make a pit stop. They still are not coming to pit road. They passed pit road entrance yet again. I can tell that they've backed their pace off a lot, because the 51 of Ethan Hoekstra has run them down, but has not made a pass. Ethan Hoekstra might be able to go on up there and win this race if he's able to make it the rest of the way from here already. Never mind, we're getting word Ethan Hoekstra is trying to unlap himself, just like the 24 and the 19 have already done. And we're also getting word that the 24 is already about a third of the racetrack in front of your race leaders. He has got much faster pace. This tells me that the 78, the 53, and 77 are all saving a lot here in these last few laps. They have really backed their pace down. They have about a half a track lead over the 24 now, simply because they have slowed their speed down to about 2.5 seconds slower than what they should naturally be running. And that's considering them having old tires. They're doing everything they can to get to the end of this race, and I think that they're trying to do it without having to pit. They wouldn't back their pace down this much unless they were trying to not have to pit again before the end of the race. Connor Brown looking to steal the championship here. It would be his 3rd win of the season, and a huge strategy call to make this work. Landon Jenkins has taken over 2nd. I think that Aiden Cody in the 53 car had to come to pit road. I don't see him on the camera frame at all anymore. I think that his strategy is went up in smoke. I think he is on pit road. And I think there's only 5 laps to go. It's either 3 laps to go or 5 laps to go. I wish I knew. I don't have an in-race reporter tonight. I do have a spotter, but he's trapped 2 laps down. He's been trapped for quite some time. And I don't think that the 24 of Aaron Garcia is going to get to these cars in time, despite the speed difference. These drivers are saving a whole lot right now. Aiden Cody, we're getting word, in the 53 blew a tire, and that takes him completely out of contention for the championship. And now a crash. Destin Franklin in the 3. The 78 of Connor Brown was involved. I think we're still green. Heavy damage to the front end of the 78. He keeps going. The 77 car comes to pit road. He blew a tire trying to make it to the end of this race. Connor Brown. They're still all up on Connor Brown's car. I think he's got 2 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. The 24 is coming. He's actually in the camera frame a little bit behind the 78, but you got to wait until it pans back quite a ways. Alex Tesdall in the 17 car has a tire down. He let a few cars go. Ethan Hoekstra is there, I believe, helping his teammate in the 78. The 53 was doing the same. That's the end of the race. And I think that it's Connor Brown winning the 2023 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series Championship. I think that Aaron Garcia was able to drive all the way back up into second. I think Connor Brown had a tire issue, or he was out of fuel at the very end of this run. I'm not sure, but his pace had dramatically slowed. Aaron Garcia was coming with a full head of steam, and it looks like Connor Brown was able to do it. He held on, and he's going to win the 2023 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Championship here on NASCAR Heat 5. He wins at Phoenix. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to all four of the Final Four contenders for making it this far. Congratulations to all 16 drivers who made the playoffs. We thank all of the 55-plus drivers who participated in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series this year. It was a fun and wild 2023 season, our 8th annual season. Well, I shouldn't say annual, 8th season in our 6-year Platinum Cup Series history. Congratulations again to your champion, Connor Brown, here in 2023. And from all of us here at NASCAR, we say thank you for joining us this year. We will see you in February. Good night, everybody, and stay fast.